All right, so let's talk about George Floyd again, because it's time to make another video. So it turns out that there was body cam footage from the police officers that was purportedly leaked. It came out recently, and it shows some stuff that we did not know before pertaining to George Floyd and his arrest and the situation that led to him dying. So I want to talk about that, because if you watch the video, and I'm gonna put the link to this leaked video footage of the body cam footage down below, and what you can see is the officers were trying to arrest George Floyd, and maybe I just didn't follow this enough. I don't know. I don't have all the details. I know that they were called in because he tried to use a counterfeit $20 bill. I don't know if he waited there for the cops to show up, or if they just got there that fast and he didn't realize they were coming, or if people that, use counterfeit bills just sit around in the parking lot after there's an issue with using said counterfeit bill. I don't know if anybody figured out that this was just a fluke, that he happened to wind up with that, or somehow he got that intentionally and tried to pass it off as a real bill. I don't know. I don't know those details. I'm not sure they matter, but it would be nice to know them. I think having the details is important, but I don't have them. But what I did see watching this video is that the police were arresting George Floyd. They handcuffed him. They took him over to put him into one of their police vehicles, and he resisted being placed into the vehicle. Now, he claimed, as near as I understood it, that he was claustrophobic, and being put into the back of the police vehicle was traumatic to him, and he thought he was going to die. Now, on first watch, on first listen, my impression was, dude, you just came out of a van. Why are you scared to go into a police vehicle? But maybe there's something to it. I don't know. I don't have all the details on this either. He did sound, to me, convincingly scared about being put in the back of the police vehicle. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just an act. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he was just resisting being arrested. I'm not sure. I don't have that information. I do, however, have some kind of small bug flying around in front of me. But what we did see was George Floyd did resist being put into the police vehicle. And one of the things he said was, if I understood it correctly, please don't put me in there. I'm going to die in there. I'll go on the ground. I'll do whatever you want. Just don't put me in the car. Or something to that effect, if I understood him correctly. Now, to me, that's something. Again, I don't know if it matters, but I do think it's something, as opposed to trying to run away and saying, don't arrest me. He didn't fight too much having the handcuffs put on. He wasn't really resisting being led around. He did, as I said, resist being put into the vehicle. And you can see that. I'm going to put the link. You can watch it yourself and come to your own conclusions. I'm not sure that any of that matters, though. But it did bring us to the point that prior to George Floyd being killed, we now have a little bit more information. And what people are saying is, oh, we didn't know this, so wow. If you're going to resist arrest, that's what happens to you. And my response to that is, What the hell are you talking about? It is not legal to kill someone because they are resisting arrest. I don't want to go in the vehicle, officer. Oh, well, then I'm going to kill you. Is not an appropriate response. It's not something our police should do. Unacceptable. And I do not understand how people can say, well, if somebody did something wrong, then the police responding in an absolutely unacceptable manner is now okay. No, it's not. If it's an unacceptable response, if it is an unacceptable approach, then it doesn't matter what he did. The only time you can kill someone and have it be justified or okay is if they are in the process of doing something that warrants being killed. To say, well, he resisted, what else are you going to do? I mean, what possible options did the police have at that point other than to kill him? No, and anybody that tries to use that logic, you're the problem. I don't even understand how you can do that. It seems to be a big thing nowadays, though. What was that? Ahmaud Arbery, down in Georgia. 2 men in a pickup and a third man in another vehicle chased this poor individual around the neighborhood, shot at him, hit him with one of their vehicles, and then when he was basically cornered, tried to escape but could not, and rushed the guy with the gun. Everybody is saying, oh, well, he grabbed the gun. They had to do something and shoot him because he could have shot them. That's self-defense. No, you can't hunt somebody down and shoot at them and hit them with a vehicle and then say, but he came at the guy with the gun. What could they possibly do other than murder him at that point? I see that argument online. I do not understand it. What mentality do you have that you justify that? This guy was hunted down. We're talking about Ahmaud Arbery now. This guy was hunted down, put into a position where he had no choice but to try to defend himself by dealing with the man with the gun right in front of him. And you're going to say, well, they had to shoot him because he grabbed their gun that they were threatening him with, that they were trying to kill him with. Excuse me? You cannot justify murder. You cannot justify killing someone because they did something that may not have been right. Oh, he was running down the street. He couldn't possibly have been jogging because he didn't have jogging pants on. What? He did not commit a crime. He was not seen committing a crime. You had a couple people seeing a black man run down the street and they grabbed their guns and chased after him and hunted him down, and then he tried to defend himself, and you have people saying, well, they were only acting in self-defense after this black jogger came at them. No, it doesn't work that way. What was that guy's name in Atlanta there at the Wendy's? He was drunk and he fell asleep in his vehicle in the Wendy's parking lot, and he was blocking up traffic in the Wendy's parking lot. Police came, they checked him for sobriety and said that he appeared to be drunk by their interpretation, as I recall that video, which wasn't saying, hey, look, we've got verifiable proof that you are drunk. It was like some vague, I think maybe just by looking at this, there might be a possibility you're inebriated. Okay, whatever. Then they made sure, that the two of them wound up wrestling with a drunk guy on the ground. They pulled out a taser and threatened to shoot him with it. Okay, whatever you got to do. I personally don't think you needed to resort to two guys wrestling with a drunk guy on the ground. I think there was a problem already just to get to that point. But fine, whatever. You have a drunk individual that then manages to get away from two sober police officers, grab the taser, and while he is running away, blindly fire behind him with the taser. Okay, two officers. 1, 2. And you have one drunk man running away. But somehow the concept is, well, if it hit one of us, and if it incapacitated us, this drunk guy that is running away might come back and take our gun, which is lethal, and then use it on us. Because, yeah, like somebody in another video said, because at that point the second police officer might just randomly decide to go buy a burger and not be there. That doesn't make any sense. But instead they're going to pull their lethal force weapon and shoot the man 3 times in the back and kill him. Now, to justify that the taser is lethal force, or could result in lethal force, means that when they pulled it, it was lethal force. So they're threatening a drunk guy on the ground who doesn't have full capacity of his mental prowess with lethal force. Oh, no, it's not lethal force unless someone that doesn't know how to use it has it. Well, wait a minute. You have 2 sober police officers that cannot get control of a situation with one drunk individual on the ground? And you're going to tell me they know how to use, in a crisis situation that they can't control, they know how to use a taser and not have it be lethal? But somebody that doesn't know how to use it is going to have it be lethal? No. See, your thought process is way wrong. A taser is not lethal force. And if you're going to say it is, then it's lethal force when you are using it on a suspect. So he had every reason to be scared and try to run away. But again, resisting arrest and running away is not justification for being shot, and it's definitely not justification for being shot 3 times in the back so that you die. Now, you can say whatever you want. You can claim he shouldn't have been drunk, he shouldn't have been there, he shouldn't have been driving a vehicle, he shouldn't have resisted. Okay, he shouldn't have done any of those things. Nobody is saying he should have. But you can't use those things to justify being murdered, because none of them warrant being killed. It's not acceptable. So to justify something that is absolutely wrong with something that you say is wrong makes no sense. But somehow you do it anyway because you want to find a reason that this guy died and to say that the police are just all great. No. Look at everything that happened and look at all the wrong events. If this person did something wrong, he was inebriated. Okay, that's wrong. He was driving a vehicle while he was inebriated. Okay, that's wrong. He resisted arrest. Okay, that's wrong. You also have to look at the police and say, what did they do wrong? You can't just say because this individual wasn't a stellar citizen and he did something wrong, the cops can kill him. It doesn't work that way. And I don't understand it. George Floyd, we're going back to him now, did not deserve to die. I don't care whether he intentionally made that counterfeit $20 bill, came to use it, and then wasn't smart enough to get out of town after they did not let him use that money. I don't care if he said, "Don't put me in that car," and he resisted being placed in the car after he was arrested. Neither of those things warrant being killed. And when he is laying on the ground, I don't care what he did up till then, when he is laying on the ground, begging to be allowed to breathe for over 8 minutes, and the police officer keeps his knee in his neck even though he is not resisting and he is handcuffed, that is still murder. It doesn't matter what he did up to that point, because now for those 8 minutes he was not resisting, he was not doing anything that justified being killed. So the people that have an issue with this, that say, "Oh, you did something wrong, now you have to die," you are the problem. You are the people that everyone is protesting against. You are the people that allow the police to use excessive force. And if you can't see that, the protesters will gladly continue to point it out to you. And for everyone that's protesting, for people like George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and if I got the name right, Rayshard Brooks, and everyone else, and it doesn't matter if you're black or white, Garrett Foster down in the Austin protest that was shot and killed by the driver, he was white. It doesn't matter. If you die and you didn't deserve to, then there's no series of excuses that can be used to justify it. Period. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great day.